XM. My name is Brady, and in studio, a music icon, someone who actually taught us all how to spell bananas correctly.
That's right.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted.
That's right. Gwen Stefani.
Hi, Brady. Good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you too. Except this time, in person,
in the flesh.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like meeting a pen
There's
pal.
nothing like it, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, Zoom is pretty incredible, but humans are like there's like a whole energy thing that you can't get on Zoom.
Well, there's that, but also
you feeling mine? I'm like trying to get it to you.
I feel your vibe, feel the energy. You know, we can smell each other if we want to.
You can come smell me. I probably don't smell good after that thing over there. The performance.
That was which we're gonna play on the Pulse the entire performance.
Oh my gosh.
A little later, but it was so good and so cool to see you like just in there doing your thing.
It's fun. Like back in the day with No Doubt, they really worked us so hard. Like we didn't know any better, but we would be like, let's say in Europe, and me and Tom would go in one tiny little car with his guitar, and they would put us in so many radio stations. Like we would just drive. We could only get like sandwiches at like the corner store or whatever.
Sure.
And we would just do acoustic versions of Just a Girl, Don't Speak, like all day long. And
like
so I said,
and stuff,
and I was like, guys, why don't we do that? Like, let's do that. I thought we would be in here on these mics. And then I get here and it's this whole fancy thing. I was like, oh no, this is actually more pressure. Like I thought we were just going to be on the mic and like do a little like sloppy version of it.
Yeah, no, this is state of the art.
Yes.
You know?
I felt like that somehow is harder. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, because everyone's like plugged in and it's like all like detailed.
Like 5 different cameras.
It was fun though. I had a good time. It's fun to obviously have new music, and I just learned the album because I cut this thing at my house where we just played the whole album and shot it or whatever, and in my backyard, and it was like I think the funnest rehearsals I've ever had in my life. Like I don't know, I think in the past, rehearsal is just like, oh, it's so boring. Like, I hate rehearsals, but learning the new songs, it just feels so good. It's like, and I was very emotional. Like, I started doing Pretty and I started crying. And some of the people, like, I didn't know the background singers. Like, it was like brand new people. It's like if I could cry right now, but I kind of know you now, so I wouldn't be embarrassed. But yeah, I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, you guys. This is like so emotional for me.
Well, was that the first time like you performed them? Like ever,
it was the first time that I just sang it ever, like live. Like, but we were just in rehearsals, like just in rehearsing it, to learn it. And I started choking up. I was like, whoa, this is really cool. It was cool because the layers of writing, like you have the experience or the emotion or the trauma or whatever it is, and then you have the dream of making a song, and then you actually, it's born, and then it kind of speaks back to you. And then you live with it, and it's yours. It's just yours. Nobody knows it. It's yours, yours. And then when you do it live, it's like a whole nother thing. And then sharing it. It's like all these like layers, you know?
Well, also like you're hearing it come out of your mouth too, and you're also like kind of bringing it back, and it's you're
going back to the memory. You're going back to the memory.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I'm sure there's tons of songs.
I think it was more than just doing it live. It was because other people were there and they were hearing it. So it's like the people in the band, like people that, you know what I mean? It's like all of a sudden you feel exposed in a way that I didn't realize how some of the songs were so exposed. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I was just telling my truth, but then when someone else hears it, you're like, oh, yeah, that happened to me, you know?
I mean, but that just like speaks to like you writing and your passion that comes through. As you perform and as you write, like like you just said, you're speaking your truth, you know, and that's something too that people can feel, and maybe they even relate back to it too, or like that's also me, you know.
But I feel like that's what music is, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
of course.
That's like you find like your identity through music. You know, you are like, okay, like you relate to it, and sometimes you don't even know why. It could be a lyric, it could be, you know, whatever the lead singer is wearing, like it could be anything, or it could be like, oh my gosh, I got into that because I got into this guy and now I'm into that music. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just, especially when you're young and you're finding music, and then I don't know, you just, at this point in my life, there's just so many influences because I've lived so long. And on this record, I feel like I got really back to the basics of like being like nostalgic about my childhood and the songs that were surrounding me at that time. Songs like anything from the like 70s and early 80s, and it was sort of the soft rock music that was just, it was just so legendary. You know, I guess when you're a kid, things like hit you different, you know what I mean? You just hold on to those memories. So I've been listening to like a lot of that, and that's why I wanted this record to have that sort of soft rock, like genreless kind of live sound to it, which really I think was such a cool contrast to the way I wrote the songs were with like pop writers, which I don't really know all that stuff. Like I just make it up. Like I don't have any rules, but like these people that I'm writing with, they're like, oh no, it has to have the B-A-B structure of the, I was like, okay, you guys go do your thing. I'm like, can it see, where's the rhyme? It's fun. Like I have fun because it's like people together, you know, everyone has their talent. And then I'm always the best when I'm collaborating with other people.
Yeah. Yo, I want to get back to like earlier we were talking about music shaping your identity and how this album you wanted to go back to your roots, which music that shapes your identity, I think also kind of coincides with like, you know how we have like comfort food. There's also comfort music. So what's some of that comfort music that kind of inspired this album?
You know, I listen to like a lot of playlists that are just, it will just say like 70s soft rock, right? Okay. And one of the things me and Blake love to do together that we did when we first started hanging out, like I first went to his house and I was like, this is so weird. I'm at Blake Shelton's and like he's like country. Like it was like a foreign land. Do you know what I mean? For me, like it was just so far away from California Anaheim girl that I am. And on the TV, like we were just like gonna hang out, and like on the TV was like, it was like all the MIDI, like 80s videos, right? And I was like, oh, you like 80s music too? Like he's like, oh yeah, you know. And it was like, oh, okay. I had never even heard one of his songs. Never even, not even one. I didn't even know he was a person when I met him.
What?
Yeah. I didn't know who he was or nothing. Huh. So it was interesting because it was like, oh, we landed in this place where we both love all these 80s songs. And then what we would do is like, okay, he'd put a song on and be like, do you know this one? Do you know this one? And I know all of them. I was, yep, I know. Before the chorus, yeah, I know. I don't know the title. Definitely don't know the title, but I know the song. I could sing along to it. And then I'd be like, how do you not know this? Oh, because you're younger than me. But I would be like, oh, you don't know this one? Or, you know what I mean? It's just so fun to do because it's like those one-hit wonders or ones that you didn't even remember that you knew until the chorus comes on. But anything from Doobie Brothers, Chicago, Carly Simon, like... there's a million of them. Like
I was actually, it's funny. I was listening to on the way in here, "You're the Inspiration" by Chicago.
Oh my gosh,
love that song.
Gosh, I heard this song by ELO the other day, and I was like, I can't remember the title because I just
Telephone Line.
Oh my God, I love that song.
I love Telephone
Line. Are you kidding me right now?
So
Let's
good.
play that on the radio. That wasn't the song though, and I can't remember the title. It was an obscure one. It starts off really super like theatrical.
Okay.
And it just brings you right back to that time, you know?
Yeah. And you are essentially like incorporating those sounds into this new album. Which was that like the original intention? Because like last time we spoke, you said that like you re-recorded the whole album.
Yeah.
So like, how is this different from like the original?
A lot different. Not the songs, because like any song can be any production, right? Sure. I mean, maybe not. Like, I mean, even a rap song, you could just rap it over a country beat, right? Like you could.
Hip hop.
It just depends. Hip hop.
Oh, yeah.
They kind of make that
new
now.
Genre.
They actually do have. I feel like they kind of go there now. But I think like the record it felt very 2000s. A lot of the production, because like, you know, a lot of the people that I'm working with are more pop. They were more pop. And like, it's weird because back in the day, like with No Doubt, you would basically write all the songs and have this pile, and then you'd find a producer that would basically just be the producer, and he would help you, you know, play live and then have ideas to like make the song come to life, right?
Sure.
Produce the vocals, produce the bass line, like everything. And that's just like kind of the old school way. And then when I did Love Angel Music Baby, it was different. It was like I'd go in the studio with like Linda Perry, and like she would create the song. She does actually play a lot of live instruments too, but I wanted that record to sound like an 80s record. So it was me in 2000s being 80s.
Yeah.
That was like, I'm going to be Lisa in the culture and watch this, you know?
Head to toe.
So good. And so I basically on this one, I think when I went in the studio, it was like you go in and like they had already like made the song in the computer, but it just kept feeling like I was trying to be myself again, and it just didn't feel right. Like it felt, I loved it. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
It was like all me all day long before, you know,
Yeah.
I'm me now. And I think that looks like it's embarrassing to like put something out that where I'm trying to compete with myself or be something that I'm not right now. You know, I'm grown up. Like I'm a grown up person. Like
we all
I want to be, we all evolve. I want to evolve. I want to make something that's truthful and real and honest and appropriate and like all the things that are like pure about who I am now. So I just knew that I needed to go back in and do the whole thing and bring the whole thing together. Plus, like you have different producers working on something, everything's gonna sound like those people. It's like not an album, and I wanted to make an album. I wanted to make a collection, and that's why Bouquet, the title, was so perfect. And I didn't think of it. Blake was like, "You should call it Bouquet," and I was like, "Oh my gosh, you're so smart!"
And now you have to give him 10% for the title. That's so cool.
Yeah, and I can't even think of a freaking Christmas present for that guy. What should I get him?
Oh,
you got it. I know you're gonna know.
I mean, it depends. Like, what's like his like?
He said
hobby?
He wants corn.
Like just literally,
just like corn, bags of corn.
like
not
the
popcorn,
corn stalks, or like
no, like corn to like grow.
So
or like to give
seeds?
to animals. I said, I'm not going to get you corn. He asked me every year.
Wait, do you guys
should I do it this year?
Do you guys have like a farm or anything? Or
yeah, we live on a ranch in Oklahoma.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
There's lots of animals, but not like sheep or anything like horses. It's more like exotic, like
get
wild.
Him a horse. I think you should get him a horse.
He would be so mad at me. Do you know what though? That's a good idea. He does love animals, but we're kind of a little bit over like anything that poops. We're like, we're dealing with an older dog right now, Betty. So I don't
all
know.
Over the place.
If you have any ideas, just text me.
Okay, I will. I'll think about it.
Anything besides corn.
I mean, but like, you know what? In this day and age, it might be good to like have a garden. You know?
Yeah.
And start some corn, maybe grow some tomatoes, you know? Because you never know when the apocalypse could happen. So, like, you got to at least be prepared.
That's true. And we do a lot of that gardening together.
Oh, really?
That is one of our, like, things where we come together, 80s and 70s music and then gardening. Because he, at the ranch, he has, like, you know, a lot of animals and deers and things. And so he is a farmer. Like, he puts out, like, huge plots of land of, like, what is he, wheat, and he does alfalfa, and he does it on the tractor. It's so hot.
Wow.
He's like on the tractor looking hot, like a cowboy guy.
She thinks my tractor's sexy. That's all I hear in my head.
But I was like, hey, if we're going to plant that, you're going to plant that. Why don't we plant some flowers? Okay. You know, we were the pandemic. I was like, let's plant some zinnias. I bet those will work here. And so we did it. And I think that he loves Oklahoma and he loves seasons, and we never are there long enough to see like, okay, wow, the wildflowers just came up and look at this one. This one comes now. This one comes now. They all have their own life, their own time. And like, we just started noticing that during the pandemic. And then we planted the seeds of these zinnias and they came up and he just couldn't believe it. And then he started seeing flowers in the same way that I see flowers because he never noticed them before because he doesn't care. And then now he starts to care because it's something we do together. And it's just such a fun project. And now we like sit on YouTube and like look up like weird things that we can try to grow together. And so that was like another reason why this record kind of has this underbelly of like flower references.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Actually, I love that. Very cool. And now
they say people that garden stay alive longer.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder why.
I don't know. But, you know, did you see that documentary? It was like the Blue Zone or whatever. Like a lot of people that have gardens. It's just something about the earth. It's a spiritual thing, I think. It's like the idea of hope. Because when you plant a seed, you have to wait. Yeah. And you wait, hopefully, and you have to just nurture it, right? And you just like come out there every morning and be like, oh my God, there it is. And you know how they say talk to your plants? Because it is true. It's like that love, you know? And
also play music for plants too. Like, I guess like music is great for like classical music.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Apparently, though,
I'm gonna play them my Bouquet record next time. Maybe I won't have a failure crop like I did this year.
You should play your Bouquet record with one plant, and then have Blake's music on another plant.
See who wins?
And see who wins. See which one, you know,
Blake
flourishes.
will for sure win. He's just a winner. He doesn't even try.
Oh my gosh. Well, Bouquet is out today.
Yes, it is. It's so cool.
Excited
I'm
for
so
it.
glad I got to see you today.
Yeah,
That's so wild.
I know, right? And it's just so
Thanks
cool.
for celebrating with me.
Yeah, no, thank you for coming here and performing for us too. It was so cool, and we're gonna play it here on the Pulse.
Thank you, Pulse. I love you guys, and thank you. You know, I have a mic on right now. I have a mic, and I'm going to talk in it. Thank you to all you guys listening right now that ever listened to my music all these years. I mean, you're such a huge, believe it or not, inspiration to me, because that exchange of love, like it just never gets old. And I'm just so excited to share this with you guys. So whoever listens, I love you. Bye. Whoever doesn't listen, I don't love you. Just kidding.
Your program has ended.